Hey everybody, we back again.
We're live.
All right, I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Hello.
That's a new one.
Yeah,
Professional.
it's always new, isn't it?
It's
All
cute.
right. And we have our special guest for today, another licensed clinical therapist, Vicky, wearing our merch.
Yes.
Yes,
The
it's right
clouds.
there. Buy it now. Buy it
Buy it
now.
now. Out now.
Yes, out now. Go get it. And this is the Different Spectrums podcast. Welcome. Yeah, we talk about movies, shows, and all the mental health that surrounds those movies and shows. We also try to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do.
Fair. And then don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. Do it. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. All right. So today we are taking a look at a few scenes from the movie Space Jam. Not that Space Jam legacy bullshit, but the 1996 Michael Jordan, the best, the GOAT.
The original.
Yes, the original. Not one of those remakes with another person that you're like, oh, he's a good basketball player. Wow. Yes, this will be the same. Complete shit. All right. And so with that, we're going to be doing, some scenes that have to do with the Monstars. Right? Monstars, Looney Tunes, Michael Jordan. It's all a great thing. Bill Murray's in there. A little bit of Larry Bird, too.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
We got all the white people in there.
All the way. All the basketball whites. We got Sam Bowie and Larry Bird. That's all we need.
Brad Miller. No. What's the tall guy's name?
It's Sam Bowie.
Bird?
Oh no, Sam Bowie. Okay, yeah. The guy who got dunked on. I thought his name was Bradley.
Is it Bradley? Maybe it is Bradley.
Yeah, it's Bradley. It's the guy that didn't Vince Carter dunk on him real bad? Yeah.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah.
It is Bradley. There you go. Oops. Don't know. They all look alike. I'm pretty sure Sam Bowie's black. It's fine. All right. So we're going to be taking a look at a few scenes. Have to do with anxiety. Have to do with mentorship. All that fun stuff. So we're going to be taking a look at those scenes right about now. Unless Naz has something to say. Go for it.
Yeah. Let's have some fun. We're going to look at all types of stuff. Anxiety, depression, mental health, mentorship, therapizing, placebos, different types of drugs, hypnotics and hallucinogenics, and all that I got.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Are you?
Yeah. All right. Enjoy the commercial for our new drink, sports drink that's coming out. How'd you say it, Spence?
Placebo.
Placebo. I like that.
He said placebo.
Placebo. It's Spanish.
Is it?
It's ethnic. All right. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, whoop whoop.
Stop the music! Top shot through! Jeez! It's getting so a guy can't even get himself wet around here. So, what's the big emergency?
These little guys would like to make an announcement. Here you go, Shorty.
Come on,
All right. You, all of you, are now our prisoners.
We're in trouble now. We are taking you to our theme park in outer space.
No fooling.
Where you will be our slaves and placed on display for the amusement of our paying customers.
Oh, fear clutches my breast.
We ain't a-going nowhere.
Not so fast, Doc. You just can't turn us into slaves. That would be bad. You've got to give us a chance to defend ourselves. Oh, yeah? Who says?
Guess who? Why?
Just a sec. Meet him in wait, boys.
Give them a chance to defend themselves.
Do we have to?
It's in the rule book.
It is. Okay, it is in the rule book.
Uno momento. We have to confer. All right, troops. It is for us to choose a battlefield that affords us...
Oh, I got it.
Yes, Private Porkster.
How about we challenge them to a spelling bee?
Say, we could have a bowling tournament.
Suffering succotash! What's wrong with all of you? I say we get a ladder. Wait till the old lady's out of the room, then grab that little bird.
Whoa, whoa! Take a deep breath, Sly. Okay, let's analyze the competition. Now, what are we looking at here? We got a small race of invading aliens. Small arms, short legs.
Not very fast.
Tiny little guys.
Can't jump high.
We challenge you to a basketball game.
All right, basketball it is.
Basketball.
Oh boy, oh boy.
All right. What is basketball?
What's that? Beats me.
We didn't have that in
5 minutes. I mean, we're talking about a huge fine here.
No way, Coach. We can't go in the locker room.
Heard what happened to Barkley and Ewing. There's got to be germs in there or something.
Yeah, that's right. That was in New York, 3,000 miles away.
Bacteria like that can travel faster than the speed of light. Yeah, it could be invasion of bodies that
Yeah, could be. All right, dress in the hallway.
Okay. Now, which of you maroons has ever played basketball before? I have, Coach, and there's an important strategic question I need to ask you. Yes. What do you think? I'm kind of partial to purple and gold myself. It goes better with my coloring. One,
Guys,
disco,
nice outfit there.
disco,
the little aliens say it's their turn to use the course.
Yeah, sure. Let the little pipsqueaks knock themselves out. Too bad you can't practice getting taller, boys.
Here, little pig.
I wet myself.
Time to play a little basketball.
Those little pipsqueaks just turned into superstars.
They're monsters.
Suffering succotash! They're Monstars!
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think we might need a little bit of help. Oh, this is a
We can still win this thing. It's not over with. We gotta come together. We gotta believe in ourselves. We can come back and win this game.
Yeah, right. That's gonna help us. Looks like Stan just had a close encounter with a bug zapper.
Monstars. The Monstars.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
I stand. The Monstars stole the talent from the NBA players. So that's what happened to those guys.
I think we should forfeit.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't get dragged down here just to get my butt whipped by a bunch of ugly monsters. I ain't going out like that. We're letting them push us around. We gotta fight them back. We gotta take it to them. We gotta get right in their faces. And what do you say? Are you with me or not?
Finished? Great speech and all, Doc. You had him riveted. But didn't you forget something?
What?
Your secret stuff.
Wow. Whoa, nice deltoid.
Play along. Hey, stop hogging it, Mike. We're your teammates.
Secret stuff. Secret stuff?
You wouldn't hold out on us, would you?
No, I mean, I didn't think you guys really needed it. I mean, you're so tough. You're competitive.
We're also chicken tough. We need it bad.
Hey, I'd like some.
You know, this goes against everything they taught me in health class.
You want to win or not?
Bottoms up.
Yummy.
All right. How about we go out and kick some alien butt, huh? Let's go. How about it, huh? Ready?
And we're back again. Just watch that lovely scene. That one scene we watched. Just kidding. We watched multiple scenes. All right. So, a little bit of backstory on the movie Space Jam. This is during the time where Michael Jordan decides to retire from the NBA. Now he's a baseball player. Right? Yep, just like that. Good job. These aliens come down to try and enslave the Looney Tunes because it's like a planet that's an amusement park, I guess. And so they saw the Looney Tunes accidentally, and they're like, we want them to be here to entertain our guests because it's so boring here. And so during that whole thing, the Looney Tunes decide to challenge these aliens to a game of basketball. Good old hoops. And of course, the aliens know they're going to be outmatched because they're little short things. So they decide to take the talents from the top NBA players that are currently in the NBA during that time. Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Muggsy Bogues, Sam Bradley. I think his name, or is it Sean Bradley? I don't know.
Oh, it's probably Sean.
Yeah, I think it's Sean Bradley. And then who's the last one? What's his name? Who's on the Hornets with Muggsy? Buff dude.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who that was.
Johnson? I think it was something Johnson.
I'm not sure.
I think it was something Johnson.
Okay.
All right. And so they take their talent. And so now these players are just roaming around the streets, don't know what to do anymore. All they know is basketball. Especially Charles. Jesus Christ, that dude.
Sad.
Yeah. I know. Kind of sad where you're just like, oh, yeah, that's all they know how to do and can't do anything else. Okay. All right.
Nope.
A little bit of foreshadowing, I guess, when it comes to they're like, it's a virus going on or something. Like all these bacteria and germs we must.
Right. 3,000
mask up.
miles away in basketball. Right. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of parallels to COVID and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Was it planned? Not starting that. We're not doing that kind of podcast. Not yet. We'll sell out at some point to somebody.
Yeah, we will. Well, Tucker Carlson just got fired, so we can have him on the pod. Crickets. Sorry.
All right. And so they turn to the Monstars. Now Toon Squad have enlisted the help of Michael Jordan in order to stop the Monstars. That's pretty much the movie. Yeah. And then it ends with him coming back to the league, which is pretty cool. And actually, during the filming of this movie, he had his own little dome set up in like a parking lot of Universal, and he or Warner Bros, and he just played basketball against all the big talent that was during the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was in the Last Dance documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic. If you haven't seen that, Last Dance. All right. So, first scene that we're going to break down is the scene where the Monstars are introducing themselves to the Looney Tunes and telling them, "You will all be our prisoners." And then they get laughed at. It's just like, really?
You little hobbits.
Yeah. The fuck? Few things in this scene that we're going to be talking about. Just kind of want to get your take, first of all, on how long has it been since you've seen Space Jam? Let's ask that question.
So last time I seen Space Jam. So when did the LeBron one come out?
Oh, like 2020, I think. I think
Yeah,
it was during
something
the
like that.
pandemic.
2021.
Something like that in the last couple of years, 2
Maybe.
years ago at least.
I think it was 2021. So I watched the first Space Jam, the original, probably around that time when LeBron's came out. You know, as a refresher, like for comparison purposes. Like, let me just kind of watch this, and then so I can compare it to the new one.
Pretty good, and then shit. Huh, right.
Yeah. I wasn't. I don't know. I felt like I said, comparison. Like you expect something great, and then it's just like, oh, like this is different. Like Dumber Dumber, Dumber Dumber 2. It's like, why did you make the second one? It's not necessary. Like it was just the storylines all over the place. So it was hard for me to kind of like follow along with the new one compared to the original Space Jam.
Okay. Dude, I think I've seen a few clips here and there, but it's been a good minute. Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen it sooner, like on TV or something like that, or like any of my homies watching it.
Right.
I feel like the scene that's most stuck in my head is obviously the one with like them touching the ball at the end. I feel like the scene that's always stuck in my head is when the dogs, they're trying to steal the sneakers or whatever for MJ, and then the dogs like trying to get him in the dark room. Like I don't know why that scene is stuck in my head so much, but that's the scene.
That's a good one. That's a good scene. They're trying to get the shoe. It's just shoe, of course.
Yeah.
The one.
Weren't the kids helping out too, or something like that?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
we did in the end.
So it's been a while, and me and you've been watching so many old things. Surprised this hasn't come up sooner. I was like, hey, I don't know why the other day I was like, we should do Space Jam. I don't know if I saw something. I was like, but this was legit like crack for us when we were growing up. So I'm like, let's do
VHS.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I would always. So this would be like probably my all-time favorite movie because I would just watch it on repeat like all the time because I love basketball. And I would have like my little mini hoop and I would try to like impersonate the dunks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
I was related to the fat orange dude. I was like, this is me.
Oh, the Charles Barkley looking one.
Yeah, the one who's like just the fat guy who's in charge and like kind of mean and like what yeah. And then he gets like super buff. That never happened, but whatever.
You ever heard of the Dream Team? Well, we're the Mean Team.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So kind of get into the scene. What are your first thoughts and what are you kind of thinking when you first saw the scene? Let's go with Vic.
You guys gotta remind me of the first scene again. Which one was that?
That was the one in the theater. So when they're in the theater hanging out, and then the little dudes announce that they're taking over the planet, and then they like, oh, we're gonna play them in basketball because they're all little hobbits. And then you brought up the little putty cat thing.
Oh yeah. So I guess they weren't like taking them serious enough. So they had to like transform, like become, I guess, a little bit more intimidating, more assertive. And in order for them to do that, they had to change form. And well, they didn't change form in that scene, but eventually they did. But I thought that was interesting that they were like trying to be assertive, like, you guys need to listen to us. We're going to do this. We're going to make you your slave, make you guys your slaves. And they're just like, yeah, we don't believe that. So then I thought it was interesting how they were just like, we're going to just run over these guys. We'll just make up some shit in this book. And, we're playing a little game, but they didn't know there was a twist. So I thought that was interesting when I first watched it. As a kid, but I always forget the cat's name, and I should look this up. I'm gonna look this up afterwards. But
Sylvester, go with Bobby. Yeah, we'll go with Bobby.
Bobby. So Bobby is just preoccupied with wanting to get the kitty cat, the Tweety bird.
Yeah.
And he's like so distracted, ADHD, kind of self-centered, just thinking about himself and not even thinking about the team. And, Bugs Bunny's like, hey, like, let's do all this stuff. And he's not even thinking about the task that's ahead. So I thought that was interesting. And then how you can kind of break that down involved in culture. Like Nas, I'm sure you work with like a bunch of different cultures. So,
Mhm.
um,
Yep.
you know, collective versus individual
Very different.
goals, things like that. And I watched something yesterday with Lily, and there's like I think it's in China. Like your parents can take you to court if you don't spend time with them or take care of them. Like it's a law. And I was
Damn.
like, fuck, that is terrible. Like I take care of my dad, my mom. I don't know. But it kind of made me think about that when I watched it, like how he was just so, preoccupied with wanting
In
to
his
get the
own
bird.
world. Yep.
Yeah. And
Facts.
as an American, a lot of us are just like, we want instant gratification, and how that ties into therapy. Like a lot of our clients, they come in, they're expecting to be fixed within 1 or 2 sessions, and it's like, bruh, you got to put in some work. Like
Bro, you hella
it's not going to
toxic.
work overnight.
Man, I don't even like you.
So yeah, those are all the things that were going on through my mind watching that clip. Yeah.
Facts. All right. So I think this is a good metaphor, Spence, for two different things. So, we're sitting in the bed, laying down, and I'm going to sleep. It's 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever, 2 o'clock. And you're like, oh, your eyes get real big, and you're like, that one little issue. Oh, wait a minute, there's 5 little issues. Now these 5 little fuckers are trying to take over my world. And now I can't sleep until 5 a.m. Because they're like, we're going to take over your world, which is your mind. So I think it's a really good thing just for anxiety, or just this little tiny thing that hiccup that messes with you. Or let's say you're hanging out with your friends and you say one thing stupid, or like you trip and fall, or you turn an assignment in late. It's like some little stupid microcosm of a thing that can wreck your entire world, entire day. You want to ask someone out, and then you fumble some stuff, and you're like, well, I never want to see that person ever again. So yeah, hope you die. Okay, yeah. I remember I was doing this thing at the school recently, just handing out pamphlets, this and that. Some students come up to me, and this older dude, I'm thinking he's gonna shake my hand because he's an older dude, right? And he's a professor or something like that. So I go to shake his hand. He's like, "Oh, fist bump." I'm like, "What?" I always fist bump. I finally go to shake someone's hand, and I'm like, so that was a weird interaction. The next students come. These are students now. I go to do the fist bump. They go to do the handshake, and it's so awkward. I'm like, okay, it's good knowing you. Please leave me alone and go away. And the student was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm done with this. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with people. So at that moment in time, I could have been like, I'm fucking weird. Why do I act like this? Why do I do this? Why can't I fucking act like a normal person? But thankfully, I'm able to make it funny, and everyone laughed. But it was kind of fucking weird. Can you imagine if I was younger, more insecure, didn't have any friends? It would probably bring up some stuff later in the day. And I have many clients that deal with the social anxiety and the stigmas of just kind of being not up to par with things. The second thing, where are we at? Oh, so, the therapist is like, but wait a minute. I got a book here. And you pull out the book. It's a squeaky book. That was a squeaky book.
Lots of those around. Squeaky.
And the dust comes out. And you're like, look at here. Section 2, Article 7. It says right here that you're not a dumbass. The student just looks at you, but I am. It said right here you're not. I'm not going to lie. This legit feels like me in therapy. So people will come to the office. They will say all these things. And I'll be like, okay, so you're unintelligent, blah, 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 blah. But somehow you're in school. You got good grades. You're doing actually pretty okay now. I'm kind of not understanding why you think so poorly of yourself. Or Nas, I don't have a personality. And then I'll open up the book from all the shit they literally just told me. And I'll list out all these facts. I'm like, look, read this. And they're like, oh, yeah, it is in the rule book. Like, you dumbass.
It's almost like you have to validate them.
Yes. But sometimes me and you as therapists are trying to find some, we're trying to find something in the book of them that they can reflect on that they just happen to pass over. And then me and you will make a few little annotations. Look.
Like, oh, this is their strength. Like, you told me this and you're good at that. And they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
So meaning tell me you can handle a lot of stuff and this and that, and you got these different type of skills that are some of your superpowers. Interesting. Oh, yeah, interesting. So I took it as that.
Your face is priceless. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, we do.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. But 3 good metaphors in that one clip that I'll use in Reels this week.
Nice. I like it. I like how they're also very gullible. Very fucking gullible.
Who's not gullible?
They literally have all of them hostage.
True.
And they're just like, well, what if you make it even and let us play against you and win instead? They're like, man, I guess. I mean, it says in the rule book that you just wrote, I guess. I
mean, this is any different than therapy. I'm like, but what if you actually think that you are smart and pretty? And they're like, I can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be $200, please. Thank you. Just get one of those old timey like registers. Cha-ching.
$200, but I'm like, you still got shit to work on, though, honey. You still got stuff.
I am great. All right.
Next thing, they're like, I'm so confident. I'm like, but you're still a little dumb. I'll see you next week. No, $200.
Just a little dumb.
Yeah, $200. You're broke now because you done got divorced and he took all your money. Oh. Well, looks like you're fixed after all. See you later. Recommend your friends. I'm just completely joking right now. Completely joking.
And you just leave them just like, sorry. Don't need me anymore. You know everything. Bye-bye.
Just drink water?
No, drink placebo. You drink
Blazebo. So new water. It's actually, some say it's better than Prime, made by Logan and Jake Paul. Some say it's better.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Don't worry about the brown hue that's in the water. That's just the minerals all working together.
So it's the micronutrient.
It's a little extra.
Yeah, it's all natural from a rusty bucket. Still natural. We collected rainwater in a rusty bucket. It's all natural.
Just a dog pan.
All right, moving on. So what would you say would be let's kind of move on to they're technically kind of segmented together. So now they finally have the powers of the Monstars, and now they're before like all the the Looney Tunes are all like these little guys ain't gonna do nothing. They can practice all they want, and then all of a sudden they get bigger, they get more confidence in themselves, even though they kind of already had some confidence. All right, calm the fuck down, dude. Calm down. All right, we got it. You got muscles. All right, try to run down the basketball court a little bit. I can't say that because I can't either. So. It's fine. But so they finally get those powers, and then they're like, they're the Monstars. So what do you kind of think of the scene, and what kind of subjects do you have?
Yeah, what can you take out of it? What can you
take away?
Yeah, what can you work in your voodoo and
what are the underlying themes?
What deep in your
what's
life?
Not being said in this scene?
Yeah, when you're the placebo, blaze. I can't even say this shit.
Placebo.
Go ahead. Sorry, we just went on a full spectrum rant. If me and Spence would have been off the chain, like literally, if not on this, we would have went 20 minutes on this subject, and it would have been intense. Okay, I'm done.
I was thinking, so when they got their powers, so now transforming from the first scene to this scene, so now they can be assertive. they're the Monstars, so they're intimidating. They're big, they're bad, they're talented now. This new transformation, they don't have to deal with being rejected or people not listening to them. So they're, masculine now. Like, oh, we have one up on you guys. So um, that's kind of what I thought. Like, who's going to beat these guys? Like, they're going to tear up the Looney Tunes. Like, they need all the help they can get. So them going to get Jordan, was a little bit helpful, but they needed that special drink to instill some confidence.
Special drink,
which psychologically it helped him out a little bit, but not fully, I guess, for a short while. But it's all in your brain, right? It's all how you process and believe in yourself, that self-confidence. But yeah, when they made the transformation, then that's when they felt like, okay, we're on top of the world. We could do anything. This whole new belief system, and we see that in therapy. When people start to build their confidence, their assertiveness skills, they start to walk differently, talk differently, think differently. That's kind of what you want to see when you go to therapy, right? Otherwise, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Should be asking for a refund. I'm kidding.
Well, you ain't getting one from me. Yeah,
right.
you ain't getting.
I'm joking.
Ain't no refunds, ain't no returns. You get what you it's placebo.
You can talk to our HR person, then AI bot. Oh, sorry, won't happen. No.
AI.
Well, let me hook you back up to our HR rep, Nazarene. Hello.
You ain't getting shit back.
Welcome to Domino's. May I take your order?
You thought?
Yeah. Pan-made pizza? Okay.
I'm just getting hungry.
Spot on. What you were saying, right? They going from being super insecure. I think the twist is that they go into a negative realm where their masculinity is based on the prototype, the toxic prototype, which is dominance. And so they're looking for domination to then take over these Looney Tunes. And so you're right. It could be hella enticing because you get the respect, you get the currency, you get everything that you've ever wanted. But what's the cost? You're going to enslave yourself to it, enslave others to it. This hostility, violence, this mentality of dominance. But it is nice to be noticed, but you're being noticed for bad things. It is nice to be heard, but what are you actually saying? And so I think that's a good way to go with it. I think it's another way is, again, Spence, it's like the first scene, you just kind of laughing and like, aha, these are just stupid little small like worries. I don't need to exercise or drink, water, or eat healthy, or, I don't do any self-care. I'm good. I've got good genetics. My family's blessed. Then they get to college. Then shit gets stressful. Then they get a few relationship issues. Now they got a roommate for the first time. Then they got to figure out meal plans. Maybe some drama happens. Maybe there's some abuse that happens. Forbidden that it does. God forbid it doesn't happen. But now you got to face some real shit. Now you got to worry about bills. Now you got to worry about the guilt and shame of having your parents pay for this stuff. So it's a lot of stuff. So these little small things can add up. Boom. Monstars. When these issues are not attended soon, early intervention, it can lead into this metastasization of something horrific. Something like, I don't remember Homeboy's name in Stranger Things, but before he became Vecna, but you got this little evil little bit, because he was still pretty evil, right? He was killing his parents and shit. But then he becomes Vecna, which is like, damn.
Right.
You got to handle these things quick. Well, maybe you don't have the tools. So let me put pause. Let me put grace. Maybe you don't have the tools. Maybe you don't have the wisdom or mentorship. So that's when, you start to seek therapy. Or maybe you don't have the money for therapy. Maybe you're not at a school or university, or maybe you've got Medicaid or Medicare, but it only pays for certain providers and you only get a limited amount of time. You talk to a therapist. They don't ever remember your name because you're just one of like 500 on their caseload. it can get tough. So then you probably turn to TikTok and Instagram, and then you see our page. So, good luck with that.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. We just made fun of you for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it just depends, man. These little things can become life ruiners. But then the whole theme of Space Jam, Spence, is now what? Now what are you going to do? So, all right, I'm going to go get Michael Jordan. Fuck you. I'm going to go build up my team, do some practicing. There's things you can do to advocate for yourself. And like Vic's always talking about, is resources. So I think it's a really good metaphor and transition into, damn, all hell broke loose. And let's go figure some stuff out. Because I can't handle this on my own anymore. 99% of the time, people aren't getting therapy and like early interventions early on. It's not a thing because they don't see it's a thing. But there's something there.
Yeah.
But they don't need to address it, or they can't address it. And then when the shit hits the fan, that's when they come calling. Well, that's when they come email me right now because it's the end of the school year and it's finals and everyone's graduating or not graduating. They're like, oh, I need to meet. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are, child. But don't you have any free time to meet? Yes. What have you been doing to take care of your mental health since we last met? Oh, nothing. Oh. Piece of shit. Okay. No, I'm completely joking. I love all my students, like real talk. But I'm getting a lot of people that's hit me up end of the year. A lot of crazy shit going on. These little small issues that they've been dealing with, maybe since they stopped meeting with me, they haven't been focused on. Now it's the freaking Monstars. My favorite part of that scene is when his hand reaches out. I think it's the orange dude. And then it like crinkles shut. And then when the green dude, his eyes like turn. Those to me are the most fearful and potent scenes in that, clips in that scene. Spencer.
Yeah.
Get your take on this scene, because right, you pick the scenes. This specific scene, I would assume you're starting to see things in my eye, but maybe you also you see that this is a good scene, but multiple meanings. Did you think that this is where we were going to go with this one, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I mainly wanted to because I like the transition from them being kind of like these small little things but they still have like huge confidence until, they meet these like Looney Tunes that are, just out there, right? And so they finally kind of meet their match, and then they have to kind of cheat in a way. They have to steal talent from other people in order to, beat these, cartoons, right?
Yeah.
And so I like the transition from that, being like they're small and now all of a sudden they're bigger. Like they turn themselves into monsters in order to win a game, right? And so maybe that's like a little bit of a play on just sports in general, just like what you have to kind of turn yourself into in order to really succeed, or maybe what people think you have to turn yourself into in order to succeed.
Well, that's what Michael Jordan did, right? We did a clip on that on the Last Dance, almost said The Longest Yard, right? He said people fucking hated him.
Yeah.
I actually saw that scene that we did from the Last Dance. It was actually on ESPN a couple days ago because they replayed it during a commercial. I was like, that's a good scene, seeing Jordan cry and how everyone hated him and this and that. And he's like, you don't like it? F you.
Yeah.
But then he cried because there's pain there.
I know, and that's kind of the thing, right? Like you really felt like the competitiveness and the like willing to do whatever he has to win. And it's just like, for me personally, like I've always been a huge Michael Jordan fan, and so just watching him being that emotional / just competitive overall about the game of basketball makes me like, that's like one of my favorite like hype myself up videos to watch in order to get myself like in the mental state to play basketball competitively, because that's going to be as competitive as you get, in my opinion, where in a way it is toxic to other people, but at the same time, he's won so much, and it's like, how can you deny that? How can you deny his competitiveness? Even though it may be toxic, it's like he's won so many championships. He's boosted up so many players that people didn't think would be anything. How do you kind of, go against that?
And he thought it was worth it.
Yeah.
And so for him, it turned out really good. He's one of the richest people in the world.
Yeah. And I will say though, he did have a lot of positives that came out of his life too. He had a really good family, right coaches, right. And in the Last of Us, he made sure, because when he was on the Chicago Bulls, when he first got drafted, they were all into drugs and partying and all this stuff. And he isolated himself.
Been there.
Because he didn't want to do all that, because he was raised, not to do drugs and drink and all that stuff. He was like lucky, but at the same time, he really pushed himself to get to a whole other level that no one's really been at before. So
I like that you brought that up. Decisions. I like that you just brought that up about making choices, and then right, these Monstars, they made some choices. Actually, part of me, what I tell my students, you find a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fuck it, you're in my office, so we're going to find a way to win. And if we got to cheat, we're going to fucking do it, because we ain't won in a while. We need a W. So when the world gives you a poor hand in this game we call poker, this game of life, then let's fix it.
Mm.
The fix is in. My father told me this. Well, maybe he's not the best influence, but we're going to fix the deck. Okay. But when you talk about this, I was just talking to a student today. Some social stuff, and they can't make friends, college, this and that, graduate school now, on high school. So I was asking, is it you? Like, what are you doing? What's going on? And so we asked about who's their type of people, who do they vibe with?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you'd be surprised at how many people always want to ask me out. And me and Spencer talk about this, ask me out to this and that, and I turn them down. And I always say, come to the house. We'll cook, we'll drink here. Come to the house. It's easy. Be comfortable. Actually talk. People don't like doing that. I don't know what it is. They don't like doing that. They want to go to the pub where it's hot and loud and overpriced. Come to the crib. We sit down and relax. I also tell people, they be like, come drink. Well, okay. You come lift. Well, I ain't doing that. Well, shit. Why am I weird? You're weird. I'll talk to you for 3 hours in the weight pit or in the basketball court. Whatever. To each his own. I was telling the student today, to each his own. I'm comfortable with the choices that I made. I said, maybe if I didn't have some really good friends, then maybe I would make different choices and sacrifice some things and go hang out more with people and break my boundaries and be more allowing to be overstimulated. But I don't have to do it, so why would I do it?
Right.
Where other folks may have to do it. And so I like that you brought that up, because we often make those choices, and there's certain circumstances that put us into those choices, just like the Monstars and the Looney Tunes in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing before I forget, and I forgot.
Damn it. You gotta write stuff down.
Yeah, I know. It was something to do. I forget it. It was a small point based on something Spencer said. I'll think of it. Yeah. The Monstars. Wonderful representation of a lot of bad things, but also one can see it as you gaining powers and control to overcome these like bullies that have tricked you into playing the stupid fucking game that you never even signed up to do. Let's take away them wanting to enslave a population and like threatening murder.
Yeah. Well, then also they were kind of doing it because they have like a boss.
Their boss is terrible.
Yeah, their boss is really terrible. He's very like abusive, and it's like, you gotta do this, and he's taking advantage of them.
Because they're little nitwits.
Yeah. And then at the end, they want to be like Looney Tunes. So
yeah, because they're good people. It's the other dude that's a turd.
Yeah. And he was really, and then of course, Mike has to do a bet where he's like, I bet you if we win, then, you leave us alone, don't do anything. But if you win, then I will be your star attraction. So technically, it was like, I'll be your slave, I guess, if you win. And he's literally like, they show like a little imagery of him just being like chained up playing basketball, losing and shit.
To
and that
kids.
kind of just, the imagery of him, like him just losing is torture enough.
Oh.
Yeah.
And see, that's not uncommon for a lot of people, Spence, is the losing or fear of loss. But for him,
Right.
it's even more devastating because that's what he's used to is winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say many of my students in college are too. They're used to winning, and then they come to the school where they're no longer valedictorian. Now they're just another one in the 50,000 because the school's intense. Many of them are valedictorians, and they come here and they're like, holy shit.
Right.
So there's a little MJ
Different
in all these
playing
kids.
field.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was thinking in regards to the movie when they were saying like, oh, like we can beat you guys. Do you guys feel like it was evenly matched? Like the Looney Tunes versus the aliens?
It was when the Looney Tunes started playing their own game. Then that's when they did, like, that was after they had Mike's secret stuff.
So that's what we'll get to in the next scene.
Yeah. And we'll be getting into that. But it was more evenly matched because they had, so the Monstars had a lot of brawn, height, all that stuff. But then once you start getting into the wackiness and them kind of being themselves and playing their own game instead of, you know, trying to play up against like these huge monsters, then it was a lot more even, even though they started getting smacked again after that.
But yeah. You're not going to beat them at their game. You're not going to be stronger than them, taller than them. So you're going to have to figure it out. So it's like with me, I'm big on the court and strong on the court. So what are you going to do? You're going to run around me. What are you going to do? You're going to set me up when I'm playing ball. You're going to go one way, I'm going to bite, and then you're going to go the other way, and you're going to cross my ass over. But I'm pretty good at crossovers. It's when they pump back like twice. When they get me twice, I'm lost in the dust. I can bite. I can get you on one. I can get you on one. But whenever Spence will do that stop and go, I like, damn.
I can't even do a pump fake with you because I'm afraid. I'm gonna run it, because usually when I pump fake, I'm either running into you or I'm passing that shit out.
Yeah. But literally, for folks that are watching the YouTube, I just land on them.
Hey, good. Don't touch me so softly. All right, don't do it.
Okay. So the next scene, I think we'll tie everything together, and then that'll lead into a deeper discussion.
Okay. Yeah. So next scene, last scene that we watched, was when they were getting beat really bad by the Monstars. It was like 60 something to 20 or whatever, and it's like halftime, and so now they find out that the Monstars are using talent from other players, right? And so Bugs has this idea to give him Mike's secret stuff because he's just so good. He's so good. It just turns out it's water. It's just water, right? And so Bugs, you know, gives it to him, and now everybody's feeling confident, feeling like they can do anything, beat anybody, and they're finally going to be able to play their own game, right? And so at first Mike is just like, you don't need that. It's like, it's already inside of you. You got this. And they're like, no, shut the fuck up. Shut up. We don't want to hear all that shit. Give us the stuff. Give us the stuff.
Give us the steroids. Goddamn. Give me the needle.
Pretty much. Yeah. And of course, Daffy.
Yeah.
Daffy's just like, this goes against all that I learned in health class. Just like, do you want to win or not? And he's like, all right, fine. Oh. And then there we are. So yeah, kind of going into the scene, how would you kind of relate it to the students or the clients that you see, and what you kind of have to do to get their confidence up?
So for me, if I have individual come in and they're like, I need medication, I need meds so I can manage these symptoms or change my behavior. It's like, okay, well, tell me about the time when you had this issue and overcame it. Like, obviously this is presented in your life multiple times. So tell me about a time or times where you've, overcome this issue. Um, the whole goal is to try. Some people need medication. I'm not gonna front you.
Yep.
Some people need it, but I think a majority of people, it's all behavioral. So it's like reframing some of your thinking. Um, we don't want people to be dependent on psychotropic medications. We want you to be able to cope because life can be shitty, but you shouldn't have to pop a pill to feel better. It's like things happen, shit happens, let's deal with it and kind of move on type thing. Um, but some people are really reliant on medications, and it's like, do you really need this? Or can we change a few things? Can we change some things in our environment? Can we change our mindset? Can we change how we eat or, how we talk
Some
to ourselves,
boundaries.
self affirmations?
Yep.
Those are things that, people have to get into routine and practicing. What's your self care like? Is it healthy? Are you, self medicating? Hopefully not. But people will do those things in order to kind of numb feelings or things that they're going through. So, that whole placebo, like, oh, let's drink this water. We need this water to beat the team. It's like, no, like Jordan was right. You get everything that you need in you. You get all the power, you get all the knowledge, the wisdom, all the stuff that you need all within you. You just gotta put it
You've
all
got it
together.
all inside of you.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. STIs.
Peacock? I had just my favorite character.
No, it's fine. You're good.
No, I was saying something else. We're gonna move on though.
Yeah. No, I got a question for Vic.
Yes, go ahead.
And then Spence too, and then I'll get to me. And then you gotta work, and this is what Nick Miller does. Feeling a vibe, and what is your secret sauce? So Vic, what was your secret sauce in life? At moments in time, was it family? Was it the kids? Was it diet? Was it exercise? Was it athletics? I don't know. Was it
I would say a
friends?
combination of all those things. Spirituality, having talks with God, prayer. As an athlete, like my ground base, I feel like everything I do, it's always been like being an athlete. Like I remember being 4 and my first set of friends being like boys and like, oh, they're doing this, I can do it too. Like just having that mindset, like that I can do anything. And it kind of, this movie I can relate to a little bit because I remember in 2011 I had a red shirt due to an injury. And I felt at that time my whole identity was I'm good at running track. Like this is what I do. Like this is me.
Who am
when
I?
I had to sit my ass down and just chill out and rehab, I was just like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, oh, I guess I can work on my grades, but this is all I've done is run track.
You've had one of those Booby Miles moments from Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, play football.
I was like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Like, that's all I know. So I can relate to like the other parts in the movie, like where the players lose their talent. It's like you lose part of your identity. And then I feel like I should write a book on this. Like even after leaving college, and not doing anything like beyond like I still have regrets of not trying to run pro track when I just didn't have the right people to do that. But it's like you go through identity crisis because you're just like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Like this is all I've ever been good at, and now it's taken away from me, and now I don't know what to do. What else am I good at? So, it's like you take on a different identity, and luckily for some people, they can go on beyond college athletics and can, still continue their sport. But even those individuals who go on to the professional level and, if something happens to them, they can't play, they're just like, okay, so what am I supposed to do? And then you see the onset of depression and the spiraling, all that sort of stuff. So to answer your question, when I'm going through a bad time or things that I've been through, it's like I think back to a time, okay, how did I get through that situation? what was helpful, what were my supports, who did I talk to, who are my people, what are some things that I did, and I kind of gravitate back to some of those things. It's kind of like you gotta get it, your toolbox of stuff like, all right, that didn't work, let's try something else.
Plug and chug, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just keep chugging along.
Yep. I assume you found an identity after running.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, I feel like we all have different selves. Like, I consider myself a mother, I'm a therapist, I'm a friend. Like,
daughter.
We all have different parts of us that we consider as different identities. And for me, I felt like when I was married, like a lot of people were just like, "Oh, we're not going to invite her to that anymore because now she's a married woman." It's like,
Yeah.
I still like to go out every once in a while. I still like to travel. I still like to do all these different things. Like, I'm still that individual with my own needs and things like that. But it's like a different mindset. So it's tough.
Yeah.
It's like you got to conform your identity a little bit, or you change it, modify it. You got to do what you got to do.
Yep, you find it. You just can't stop, and you can't subject yourself to just one other person's identity. You have to find your own. Spence, what are you thinking about that thing? The secret. What's been the secret sauce? I brought this up because, for one, the clip, but then also two, you brought up on like how to get motivated. You would watch certain clips. I also know you like certain songs and music, right? So I wonder what's your certain sauce, because I'm still thinking of mine specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, honestly, obviously, like the people around me and stuff like that.
Yep.
Going towards that, but really kind of like comedy and stuff like that. That's really, yeah, that's really kind of helped me kind of flourish into who I am and let me be myself. And especially kind of, seeing certain people like, Dave Chappelle, Patrice O'Neill, huge comedians that are just hilarious and that also are like philosophy driven in a way, are very and it just makes you see certain things in certain lights. And so I think comedy, and not just in like a broad term, but more in like the trying to be a lot more, I don't know, thought provoking in a way when it comes to like your comedy and things like that. That's been really kind of like me. I've been always trying to get to in my life. Now, don't get me wrong, I say like, stupid shit all the time, but just trying to make sure that what I say and how I say it and how it comes off has been like a very important thing for me. So I'd probably say like comedy and things like that. That's always been helpful. Like even through like really shitty times, I've always tried to look for things that make me laugh, to kind of get me out of that rut. That's one big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously both of you said, right, you can easily talk about the people that you surround yourself with. So friends, family, loved ones, right? That's a foundation for a lot of folks. It's going to be, right, the spirituality, which Vic said, right? God, Jesus,
the Lord have mercy. Blessings.
Jesus be raining upon thee. All right, I'm getting way out there now.
Brothers and sisters, let's come together.
Yeah. Donation time. Get your hats out.
Right.
Don't be looking at me like that. I know you got 20. I saw it.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it. Oh,
come on for these blessings.
Yeah.
Want to get into heaven, don't you?
Blessings on you. Blessings on your child. So I'm gonna go back real quick. One of the clips that I watched for like that interview I was doing, I rewatched the clip over and over and over. Remember, I said to Frank, "You know how strong I made you."
Right.
You're my fucking kid.
You really drew onto that one.
Oh man, I was watching that thing and I was sobbing my eyes out before the interview. You know how strong I made you? No one messes with you. And I just kept playing it and playing it and playing it.
Yeah.
And then I went into that interview and legit killed it. And then right afterwards, I changed it. Went into straight panic mode. Where the Monstars. Yeah, I'm a worthless piece of shit that doesn't deserve to be loved.
They can't see how amazing I am.
It was intense. It was so many emotions. But that was the scene that I played. Immediately after, I was super excited, then also a little anxious about some of the ways it ended off. So I immediately called Colin because I told him I was going to call him because I was just talking to the baby beforehand, where she just watches me eat lunch.
Yeah, like talk. She's like 3 months old.
I just eat lunch and she just kind of falls asleep to me. Like she's gonna love fat dudes when she gets older. I'm telling you. I don't care if they're friends or partners.
It's just a weird thing to say, man.
It's not weird. She's gonna
That's
date.
fucking weird.
She's gonna like. I don't know what it is about these fat Hawaiian looking dudes, but Polynesian dudes. But she's like, they bring me comfort.
You know what? I'm gonna move to Hawaii. Yeah, that's why.
Hawaii.
You can't stop me, Dad. Can't stop me. He's like, all right, I won't.
Yeah, it can't. I'm going where my people are. Like, girl, you're white as hell.
I know. Fat Samoans, they are my people.
Yeah, she's so white, so white.
They got ukuleles. That's my people.
That's my people. Okay. So yeah, I immediately called him, called Pops, and then I was like, all right, let me calm down, be excited, let me calm down, let me re-strategize. Then I sent homeboy an email, to clear up some things that might have been confused.
Right.
And that was good. I wasn't too much freaking out. In the prior years, usually I just need to think my way out. So I need silence. I need to be secluded. I kind of need to be away. If I start to get a little bit too wild and crazy with the thoughts, that's when I start to reach out to people. So my grounding force has always been the close ones. But it's it. Doesn't matter who it is. I'll text a few people real quick. Maybe I'll distract myself with some memes. Comedy is a big thing, like Spencer said. The secret sauce now, though, like they told me in the interview, I love your passion. I love your confidence. I said, yeah, I'm confident because my students, I do well by them. They're the ones that tell me I'm good. I'm confident because I love my job. They smiled. They said, you're confident. Well, I might have threw something in there. I do my research. And so I said, yeah, I read y'all bios and some of your degrees. And so I was relating some of that. And the ladies, I visualize things and play it over and over and over. And so I kind of know what some of y'all going to say before you even say it. That was me kind of being sarcastic, right? And one of the ladies goes, so what am I going to say, Nazir? And I said, she gave me too much time. I said, you're going to say, Nas, when you ready to sign up and be on the team? They all cracked up. That was pretty confident. I was like, yep, I might have been a little over the line, but everyone laughed. It is what it is. I believe in my work, my abilities. So now I don't have to so much rely on, what my loved ones say or what they instilled in me. It's there. The Monstar is ready to come out and play at any time. So that's the secret sauce, is the years of people believing in me and love. It's a sauce. It's in there. It's in there right now like my acid reflux. It's in there cooking. That's why I keep burping during this thing. Yeah. Double doing in trouble.
I'm going to say it's more like a erupting volcano. Just finally, just scalding lava just hitting your heart.
Yeah, pretty much. It's hot. Okay, so I don't even think we've really gotten into the scene yet, into the water.
Right.
So when I'm gonna therapize it, throw it back to Vic, throw it back to you, and then we'll get out of here. We've all pretty much talked about our placebos, our water, our secret sauce, our juice. You've got your therapist, which is MJ in this moment, and he's trying to gas him up like, hey, man, y'all are good. Like Vic said, y'all good. You already had it in you. Everything you've needed was already there. So I'll do this meditation where, I get people to close their eyes, listen to their normal breathing, the normal cadence, take in a few other things, do deep breath. Then I'll get them to visualize a few things, easy things, peaceful things. And then while they're down in the visualization, in the trance, I'll gas them up with a few things. You're strong, you're powerful, you're wonderful, you're intelligent, you're capable, you are loved. And then I'll have them stew in it. Then I'll have them do a deep breath, then blow out, then open their eyes. The exercise is done. So that's what I thought of when he said, you've already got it. Everything you've ever needed is already there. In one specific meditation / hypnosis thing I do, that's one of the key things, foundations of what I say when they're down in the pit of it. It's usually pretty good. Long as I don't push on it too hard, because that'll make people cry. So you got to kind of hit it and go. That's what I thought about. So MJ's a really good therapist in there, even if you're the best fucking therapist in the world, like MJ, right there. The client still might not believe you. They still may degrade what you say or not internalize it or like, what's it called? Be defensive about it, right? Or maybe now they won't even trust you because you're, they're pre-contemplation. They're not ready for it. But also they've been so traumatized. Also, you technically might be invalidating their feelings because they believe that they're a piece of crap. And so if you tell them that they're quite wonderful, now it's just another thing they've been invalidated about. And so you got to be careful on how you give these compliments or affirmations, because now it's actually hurting them in some ways. And so first you have to check that and be like, yo, I'm going to say some shit. Don't get weird. Don't give me that, well, I'm terrible, and then thinking, no. So your thoughts and your feelings are a little screwed up, but we're going to talk about it. There's some facts about you. We can change those thoughts and feelings and get to the beliefs later on. It's tough work. So folks out there that are getting mental health treatment, or on medication, and you're doing all the good stuff and you're busting your fucking ass to stay healthy and set boundaries, it's a process. I remember working with some clients, wonderful young women. Like, what the fuck did I do all this for? I'm like, what are you talking about? You're sober. And like your grades are going up and like you're doing well and you're setting boundaries with these other dingbats. Like you're doing fucking good. I'm so fucking bored. She goes, I got nothing to do and I'm alone. Well, you're alone because all the other fucking people you hung out with were fucking addicts. So you want to go hang out with addicts? You want to go make some new friends? But they're boring. Oh, okay. But we need to think about what's your definition of boring. Because you don't have to be under the influence to have fun. They were so fucking mad at me. I told them, just keep sticking in there. We're going to get you to graduate. We got you. Just keep sticking in there. Discontinued therapy. Sad moment. They came back. Then they graduated. They discontinued therapy. Almost didn't graduate. Came back. Got on the right path. Did their fucking thing. Got the fuck out of school. I have a lot of clients that'll do that. That'll clean up their act. And then, I remember I did one of those meditations I just talked about. And because they couldn't do the meditation, they cried. I was like, Jesus Christ, kid. You don't have to take everything so offensive. You don't have to fucking hate yourself all the time. You don't have to turn every little I don't even know what they're called. We'll just call them little aliens.
Yeah. I don't even know. I don't even think they have a name. No.
Some of my clients will take every little alien that there is and boom, magnify it into a monster. We don't have to do this, girl. And so you take your wins with your losses. I feel like most people focus on their losses. I tend to block those out. I got 100% success rate. It's like 10%.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It's much higher than that at the university level. No. I just went at a whole rant because I was in some stuff. Sometimes you can't. Well, we were talking about it in a group setting, the whole entire staff, and they said sometimes you just want to shake a kid. One of them said, "You just want to shake a kid, like listen up, you son of a gun." I said, for me, it's more like Homer when he's choking Bart.
How did that go?
Yeah, well, I lost my license.
I'm not a therapist anymore, that's for sure.
I'm only doing the podcast now, so I'm taking
Yep.
donations and got OnlyFans where I just have people look at my feet.
Jesus fucking
Yeah,
Christ.
yeah. I might need to delete that. I'm sorry.
Oh
All
God.
right, I'm done. Yep,
Ugh.
I'm done. Whoever wants to go.
Now I'm gonna let you sit in that fucking stew that you
Oh
made yourself.
shit, that was funny. So I'm glad that you brought up the visualization. I can personally relate to that as being a former athlete. Um, and I remember I had a teammate, Ashley. She was a long jumper. Um, and I remember her saying in the fall during conditioning, she was like, "I'm going to nationals." And I was like, I'm looking at her like, "What is she talking about?" And she was like, "I'm going to nationals this year for outdoor." And I'm like, "Okay." And it was like the little seed she planted. And I was just like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going with you." And sure enough, in 2010, I went in the 400. I ran shitty in Oregon, but I got there. That's all that matters. I finished 23rd that year in the country. But having people around you that are positive, mind like I'll never forget that. That's like one of my biggest stories. That I was just like, man, like I started with my teammate being positive and her saying this positive affirmation, and then I made up in my mind like I need to stop being an asshole. My coach, he's in my ass because he sees my potential to be great. So
Facts.
why not change how I think and let this person help me get to where I need to be at? As that can kind of relate to, your therapist helping you get to where you need to be in life or where you're trying to go. So
Yep.
sometimes like just having that visualization or seeing yourself achieve something that you want to do or, accomplish, that's like monumental. Like
It
most of
is.
the things that we want to accomplish or achieve in life is like 80% mental and 20% physical, like just action behind what we're thinking or planning.
Don't give up.
So exactly. Never give up. And I can attest to that mentality. Like a lot of things that I've been through in life, it's like, man, I could have easily folded and been like, fuck it, I'm just gonna let whatever happen, what happens happens. But that's not who I am. And sometimes like trying to determine or figure out what your core values are, who you are as a person. Sometimes those things change over time, but um, just know who you are in yourself and your identity. Like that's very important. Like whether like Nasi's mentioned, like you have your go-to people that you're close with that you just need quick support from, or comedy or music or anything that like helps keep you grounded. Those things are important. Like those are things you need to use in your time of need.
Yep.
Yep.
Sometimes all you need is that little seed, man. You need to just believe in it, plant that fucker, and just watch it grow.
Yep.
But you got to keep watering it. You can't just leave it out there in the desert now. You got to keep watering. And so sometimes I forget to say that is that like, I'm just one of the beginning foundations of people on their journey of living a good life. And so sometimes, I used to not think about that, and people aren't ready. Recently, I probably would have took this hard back in the day. I had a human that I'm like, hey, we need to do meds now. At first intake, we need to do meds now. This is not a therapy thing. This is a now thing. What you're feeling and seeing is intense. These nightmares and night terrors are intense. I cannot therapize your subconscious long enough. We need meds now. I told him, you go to the doctor though, and you don't want to do it. Fuck it, you don't want to do it. You get the prescription, you don't want to fill it. Completely cool with it. I got your back either way. It's just gonna be a little harder. They went, met the doc, sent me an email a couple hours later. He said, hey, I don't want to do it. I just want to talk to you for a minute. I said, I got your back. Let's do it. Semester from now, they're going to do the meds. That's what happens every single time. I know the limitations of me in therapy. I cannot correct this thing that's happening in the nightmares. I can't. Right. I'm good. I can't fix that. That's some other stuff. I can maybe help some things, but and back in the day, I get mad or sad. I think the doctor was shocked. And he was like, no, it's fine. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to terminate them from the list. I said, don't fucking terminate them. Like, let me meet with them a couple more times. Keep them on the roster. He's like, you sure? I'm like, give me a shot, bro. It is what it is. Sometimes it's just the seeds of the foundation. I've done it with people around the autism diagnosis. around them working on their sexuality and being gay or being ace. I remember one boy said, "Oh, I hated you." It's like, "Oh, fuck you too,
Nice, thanks.
piece of shit. Why are you in my office? I'm here to pay back that $200 that I owe you from your bill." "Oh, yeah, that's right, you son of a bitch. Give me my money." I'm joking. We don't get paid money in college, so.
We have a salary here.
Yeah, we get a salary. Yeah. Poor bastards. I remember he said that, but he needed someone to like be like, "Bro." I remember breaking this down to, what do you think this person looks like in your mind? This other identity, this other sexuality. What is it? And it was pretty derogatory what they said because they did not match that. And so there's a lot of working on who they are to finally be comfortable. As I told my boys in Greek life the other day, I want to talk to a fraternity. I don't give a fuck what your identity is. I'm going to make sure that you're the best version of yourself. I'm not letting anything get involved. No politics, no religion, none of it. My family, I'm making sure I got your back. We're going to make you strong. So no one fuck with you. One of my students today, I said, let's say I get a new job. So I'm going to put in your file a few things, right, to make sure you get the right therapist. Because I don't want no one fucking with you. Because they're going to diagnose you with some crazy stuff. And I know, and we're on the same pattern that you're neurodivergent. So just so they don't put you on some weird stuff, I'm going to put this in the file. You said, "You cool with that?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "Why are you doing this?" "Because I don't want no one to fuck with you." Because I know how people are going to treat you because you're a woman, and they're going to sexistly label you with borderline personality disorder. I know it. I'm not cool with that. So we're taking this Space Jam thing in a bunch of different sections, as we do.
Right.
You know, that's what we do in the pod. We talk about therapy. We share stories. It's a cultural thing. Diagnosis. The Monstar little dudes or the Looney Tunes, they're all fucking anxious and depressed as shit. They're all scrapping to get a win. Some of them are trying to avoid enslavement. There's a bunch of different mental health concerns that are happening based on winning or losing. Treatment for all these knuckleheads. Technically, this entire clip was just a metaphor. So it's really not a diagnosis that me and Spence normally do for this type of scene. Treatment would be whatever you got to do. What's your secret sauce? Do you need a therapist like MJ? Do you need a bunch of friends that are your fucking Looney Tunes and what my dad would call the Goon Squad? He would say that every time he went back to our house. He would call our house the House of Goons because my mom, my brother, and my sister. He's like, "You bunch of fucking idiots." I'm like, "You married her and then impregnated her. Like, aren't you a goon as well?" Whatever. Do what you need to do. Surround yourself with a bunch of stuff. Do the coping skills that Spence said, what Vicky said, what I said. Find out what fits you. Progress through life. Plant the seeds of a greater tomorrow. When in doubt, watch whatever your neurodivergent heart wants that fills it up with love and joy and kindness, because the world is fucking terrifying. And it's, what do they say on Game of Thrones? The world is dark and full of terrors, or full of horrors. The night is dark. I don't know, some shit like that. The night is dark and full of terrors. I don't know.
Sounds scary.
I'm done. My acid reflux is kicking my ass. I got a burrito. We're getting ready to shoot at me.
Oh.
Thanks for that visual.
Yep.
Everyone on the pod, thanks you.
Blessings.
Yes, thank you everybody for watching. We just did Space Jam 1996. 96. I was 2 years old.
96?
Yes.
Yeah.
96. All right. Covered a lot of topics today. Did a lot of stuff. Out of 3 scenes. Technically 2, but
yeah,
they won't know that. So everybody check out our merch. Please like and subscribe down below. Look at that. Yeah, you're not wearing it.
No.
Good job. Sponsored by the
Ooh,
Lions.
to the Lions.
I got mine. It's coming in the mail, people. Jesus.
Sure it is. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Vicky, for joining us today. Always appreciate you coming on. Yes, namaste, Asian people. All right. I'm Spencer. That's Nas. This is the Different Spectrums podcast. See you later.
Much love. Peace. Bless.
Bless.